So why do Christians believe that dogs, cats, animals go to heaven? That's a conversation topic this week on the Why Do Christians podcast. Hey, welcome to the show. My name is Mark Dickey. I host the afternoon show on the Bridge radio station. I've got two co-hosts, two pastors. Got Pastor Josh Dupiche.
Hey. Caught me off guard there. I was ready.
And Pastor Burt Miller.
Roar.
Oh, wow.
What?
Animals. We're talking about animals this week.
Oh, okay.
I
don't think dinosaurs go to heaven.
Oh. Have we done an episode on dinosaurs and what they even are and how they fit within the idea of the Bible and timeline?
Maybe next week.
Okay.
How did we miss that topic?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And I never considered dinosaurs when we talked about animals going to heaven. Like, that was never...
What if there's just dinosaurs in heaven?
That's made out dinosaurs.
I want to confess something. Yeah. I did ask God for a dragon in heaven. Okay, you see the video, people riding them, like, that's so cool.
In heaven?
Yeah, I mean,
have you read Revelation?
Sure. Hold on.
Well, okay.
Wait.
This is like a tamed, loving dragon, like, like a heavenly dragon.
Toothless.
Yeah, like Toothless.
I want to be clear. You watched How to Train Your Dragon and were like, God, me too.
Dude, me too.
That was your takeaway from the movie.
That is so...
I mean, no one else is just me.
Wait,
Okay.
that movie didn't come out that long ago. How old were you when you wished for a dragon?
I choose to plead the fifth at this moment in my life.
How many children did you already have when you asked for a dragon?
I did not think about my children.
The dragon will be my new child.
It will be my dragon.
It's better than them.
I'm like, no one wants to ride one? Like, okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he stayed there, like, comes, like, flying. Anyway.
I've watched Spider-Man and like, oh, that'd be cool. I've never thought, God, send me web shooters. Like, I don't...
Yeah, that's so different.
Yes, you have.
Okay, yeah, I have.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so before we jump in, guys, I have an update.
Whoa.
About
Hold on.
7 months ago.
You didn't tell us you were going to do this.
No, I didn't.
This must be a big update. Hot on the mic.
7 months ago, we began the Alaskan adventure.
Oh, yeah.
A month ago, the gift of Wisconsin.
That's right.
And gentlemen, we are the recipients of the gift of Wisconsin.
Does that mean we're in Wisconsin?
We have been listened to in the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, thank you, Wisconsin.
So we officially, this podcast has been listened to in all 50 nifty United States of America.
That's great.
That's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really like that you surprised us with that.
I know.
I was expecting something much worse.
Ooh.
Guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but from now on, no microphones. We need you to shout everywhere.
We're just gonna have bullhorns.
That's right. That's right.
Can you imagine? Everybody, just anyway.
I'm gonna speak through a shofar. Bert, what do you think?
Sound the horn twice if you mean no. All right, so yeah, hey, Wisconsin, thank you for listening. All 50 states, thank you for listening. It's just really exciting to know that all over our country, all 50 states, we've been listened to and watched, and we just appreciate you being a part
And loved.
Yeah,
I can tell.
So next, we're gonna work on the rest of the world.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the next border that we're going to cross here?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. If you're in the world and not in America, give us a watch.
Was that a geography joke? What border we're gonna cross?
Well, I mean, isn't that what you would do?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on with the topic for today.
Great.
So I actually, on the Bridge, on my radio show, I asked listeners to text in. Like, hey, I do this show every single week, the Why Do Christians podcast, with my friends. I don't do it by myself. And I said, hey, have you ever had a question about your faith that you've always wanted answered? And I had 2 people text in the exact same question.
Wow.
Which is our topic for today.
Okay.
Gary Hey, Gary, texted in, why do Christians believe or possibly not believe that their pets will be joining them in heaven?
Okay.
And then also Yadira, she said, hey, hope you guys are doing well. Yadira loves her pets.
Oh,
Okay.
Loves her pets. I am told that my furry babies have no soul and they won't go to heaven.
Did somebody say it to her exactly like that?
I hope not.
It sounds like they probably did.
Like walking out of Target,
Painful.
ma'am, you look like a dog owner.
Your dogs have no soul,
Yeah.
like none.
That's right.
No one cares.
Wow. Okay.
That's painful.
This is my very silly question. And I mean, if
It's not silly.
it's not silly. Yeah. But I do love them a lot. Is this true? And so we're gonna figure that out today.
Okay.
All the answers
Okay. Great.
in the next minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna edit that in post.
Okay.
So I can't help but think of the 1989 classic "All Dogs Go to Heaven."
As one should.
Did you know that the main character dog is voiced by Burt Reynolds?
No, I thought it was Charlie Sheen.
Nope, Burt Reynolds.
No.
I looked it up today.
What?
Don't test me.
like the main dog and all dogs go to heaven.
The main dog is Burt Reynolds.
I no, I'm sorry. I have to Google that.
I watched the trailer and it's
Okay.
like a fever dream. It's like they do not make movies like this anymore.
Yeah.
It's so different. But I honestly can't remember the plot. I believe a dog dies, but he gets to come back.
It is Burt Reynolds.
And but I mean that movie title,
Yeah.
I think, has led generations of Christians in a direction of like, oh, well, dogs are good. Of course, dogs go to heaven.
Okay.
You know. And I feel like this episode is going to be a whole lot of us maybe unlearning what Hollywood has told us. Maybe. Oh, I'm getting faces.
Maybe, or it's going to be a lot of us giving very non-committal answers. Could be that one too.
Okay.
Unless Josh has found like the smoking gun that I didn't, then
I mean, okay, I didn't find a smoking gun.
What did you
But-
find?
Well, there's a couple of things some people think that dogs and certain animals make it to heaven because it's not explicitly said in the Bible, but there are reasons maybe you can come to that. One of them is like when God creates the world, the same kind of language used for the creation of Adam, Eve is the same one used for animals, that they have
Nefesh in Hebrew. Yeah.
yeah, like living souls, and that they're alive. That the same spirit that gave life to Adam gave life to animals, and so you're like, oh, okay, maybe there's a place there too. And then
Did God breathe
No.
into?
see, yeah,
No, he didn't.
This is where there's the
So like
non-committal.
what Josh means is like you have that in Genesis 1, the language is similar, but in Genesis 2, the language is a lot more detailed in the narrative of God forming the man from the clay and breathing the breath of life into his nostrils. Genesis 1 is just that language of being the word in Hebrew there is nefesh in verse, was it 24, I think? When it talks about like the living creatures. It means sometimes soul or life. And what he's saying there is like it's the same language that's spoken of male and female being living beings.
yeah, that like there's more to animals than just this fleshly body. There's
I don't know. Okay, like here's what I want to do with that is go, hey, nefesh can mean soul. It's a stretch to think that means like disembodied spirit soul. I think more likely the idea is a living being. So soul in the sense of someone or something being alive.
Yeah.
So I so wanted to use that verse specifically to be like, look, angel, or like just as angels are like dogs are in heaven, because like, I want to do it so bad, dude. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, another one is from I think Ecclesiastes, where is it 3, where Solomon kind of points out that who knows, humans and animals have the same experience. They live, they die, but what we don't know, he says, do humans go up and animals go down? His idea, the picture is that humans go somewhere after they die, and maybe animals do too. I don't know. He doesn't know.
Yeah, I was always taught that animals just kind of are, and then they are not.
Are not. Yes.
I mean, going back to Genesis, when Adam and Eve realize they're naked, God goes and kills an animal.
Truth.
You know? And God also orders the sacrifice of animals in the law, right?
Truth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so awkward to say, because it's like I've had pets.
Yeah.
I've had several dogs in my life, and I love them so much. They're part of the family.
Right.
You miss them when they're gone. It's tragic. You mourn. It's the best way to say it. They're part of the family, and you want them to be where you're going to be.
Yeah, I think Josh, if I can speak for you, I think you and I would both be united, regardless of whatever scripture we talk about right now, to say, all right, biblically speaking, a very, very clear thing is that animals and human beings are not the same importance of life.
Right.
So in God's eyes, it's not, chickens and duckies and doggies are as important in creation as human beings, which is in fact, in the Genesis story, humans coming last, it's the apex of creation, right? And I think that's important to know, because sometimes I think what happens is people, for whatever reasons, whether that be heartbreak, personal hurts or whatever, I've known people who love animals but hate people. And I think it's a very unchristian view. For us who are called to love our neighbor, like that, I don't see that as congruent as I don't know how you can do that and love Christ. I can't stand people, but goldfish are okay or whatever. It's not to say you can't love animals, but to go man, people are the worst, these are the best. That's a very cynical view that I think probably doesn't come from nowhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it gets so tricky so quickly. I just going back to that thought of pets are part of the family. We share emotions. When we get excited, they get excited, and you're just okay, I miss my mom. My mom died. I know my mom's in heaven. I miss my dog. Shouldn't those two feelings and experiences be linked? And that's where we get these beliefs that our animals are in heaven waiting for us.
Yeah, I think before we go to the New Testament, to look at the Old Testament picture in Genesis, when Adam's alone, one of the things God does is he brings the animals to him, not just for him to name, but to see if there's a companion that's suitable, that's compatible. And so, in a sense, the picture is there that God does create animals to help bring us comfort, to have a connection with, but at the same time,
no suitable helper was found.
Yeah, they are insufficient. And like Burt says, there needs to be this other deeper connection with mankind, with that God works through us to love other people. But yeah, and so in a very real sense, animals are made for that. I think God gave them to us for that.
Yeah, I would never kick somebody while they're down if they've lost a pet that they loved. Just be well, it doesn't really matter because they're not as important as people. What a terrible thing to say to someone.
Right.
I think if we're answering the question, what does the Bible teach about animals in eternity? Is there a space for the idea of animals being in heaven? I think the best you could glean would be, some new earth imagery of post-resurrection. There are animals in some of those narratives, but to make this means that it's my dog from previous Christ's return, I think that's a bit of a stretch. So I think the Bible doesn't really address that issue either way. It would be wrong. Like sometimes what people do is they'll appeal to the language of Genesis 1 about men and women being the image of God. And they'll say, since animals aren't called that, that means animals are not eternal. That's a misreading of the image of God language. The image of God language has nothing to do with whether or not human beings live after they die. That language is specifically the idea of in the ancient Near East, like when they would have like a temple, they would have an idol, like a crafted image representing that, like their deity in the temple, right? And they were called like the image of the God. The idea in Genesis 1 is like, this is why Christians don't have like representations of God, because he actually made a representation of like, or a representative of himself in creation. He entrusted it to us, which is why the fall is such a big deal, because we have dishonored and rebelled against the king who owns all of it. So the reflection of God is like, that's that language there. That's why, like, you know, the idea of clay being formed into man, that's how they made idols. When they would have an idol come forward, they would do I think it's called an intinction ceremony, where basically they would pray for the deity to dwell in the idol. Okay, what do you see in Genesis 2? God breathes his breath or his spirit into the man and he becomes alive. So I say that's a very whole side thing, but the idea of animals can't have souls because people have souls, because that's what being in the image of God means. That's not what being in the image of God means. It means unique relationship and representation, but the two are not the same thing.
Okay. Yep. And if right, exactly. I think especially if you like broaden that soul. I think of Romans, 8, where Paul says that like all of nature is subjected to this
groaning.
Yeah. This idea that like groaning, there's something I don't have that I need, that like is that. And anyway, it seems to imply that maybe even the animals see this too. Like we're subjected to this futility and we don't want it. When is like almost like their soul is crying in a sense, because he doesn't just limit it to humans.
Yeah.
He says
it's
all of creation is crying out.
Why would the rocks cry out if the disciples are silent? Like all of creation is under, or is designed to be under, the reign of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a sense, you could say maybe somehow, in some sense, animals have this sense of, this is terrible. Like we need God to do something. And if there was any other New Testament, I mean, we have a couple more Old Testament ones where God makes a promise to Noah. Well, he includes animals in there. Yeah, he's I make the covenant with you and with the birds and with the. He starts
to not flood the earth.
Yeah, to not destroy it, and he makes his humongous covenant, and he includes these animals. So all that to say, if I made it to the new heaven and new earth, which I believe I am, because I'm trusting in Christ, I wouldn't be totally shocked if I saw animals in it.
Jesus comes back on a white horse.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and a question that I'm gonna raise and then immediately move past it because I'm just thinking of it.
Yeah.
Is like the reason we need heaven is because of sin originally. Like we were good in the garden until mankind sinned. So like, are there still animals in the garden? Like, are the animals that are not in the garden something else? And anyway, that's just a weird question that I don't want to stay on too long.
Okay.
But the real thing I think we should go into is let's talk about what heaven is.
Okay.
You know, because once again, going back to Hollywood, it tells us it's just, when you die, it's this nice fluffy cloud place where you have wings and you just get to chill and everything you ever wanted is there just kind of waiting for you.
Yeah, that's not really the Bible's picture of that.
And so when we mesh that belief with, I'm a Christian, I believe in the Bible, I'm going to heaven, heaven is this.
Yeah.
Let's clear that up a little bit, because I think that'll also help us understand where our thoughts should be when it comes to, I've heard several people say to me over the years, my dog's got to be in heaven. I've had someone actually say to me, like they were thinking about becoming a Christian and they were mourning the loss of a pet. And they're like, well, that's just how it has to be. they couldn't fathom any other way of how God does heaven.
Yeah, so I think actually for clarity, we can circle back to something you just said with the idea of heaven and the garden, right? So biblically speaking, heaven is where God dwells, and the goal of the Christian life is not heaven. The goal of the Christian life is, or not the goal, the promise, the be all end all, where this is all going, according to the overarching narrative of the Bible. It's not heaven. Heaven is where we wait when we die for the actual thing that we're hoping for. And what we're hoping for is the restoration of creation. So remember, it's the new heavens and the new earth, like the earth without sin, without corruption, without destruction. And interestingly enough, I'm thinking specifically where Jesus is on the cross, and there's the guy who believes in him, and he says, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." And the line that Jesus gives him is, "Today you will be with me in paradise," right? The word that we translate as paradise there, and we think paradise, we think like, oh man, like the best place ever. The word there is the Greek word paradiso, paradiso, which means garden. The idea, it's the reclamation of Eden, right? Like, so we picture heaven as this like sort of blank scape with, white robes and clouds everywhere. No, it's teeming with life, vegetation, a place of absolute beauty. And the reason it's beautiful is because where God goes, or where God dwells. But then on top of that, it'd be easy to look at that and go like, well, hold on, but what about my dog, right? Mm-hmm. Is my dog there? And I love in Psalm 16, David has this thing where he's describing how God won't leave him to just nothingness and death. And he talks about how like God will give him life beyond death. And he says this in Psalm 16, verse 11. He says, "You make known to me the path of life, and in your presence," so in heaven, "there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore." I love that. Like there is fullness of joy, meaning there's no lacking of. There's no way you could have something lacking in joy in heaven. Mm-hmm. All right, so to the question of, is my dog in heaven? Maybe, but if not, you're not going to care.
Which is hard to hear.
Yeah,
it's a hard.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But think about. Jesus describes it like this all the time. Think about like in the resurrection of the dead. He says like there's not going to be marriage, right? Because like people will be like the angels in heaven. Well, how does that work? I can't conceive of an eternity where my wife and I aren't married, and like how could we want something different? I don't know, but he says that's how it's going to be. It's a whole mode of existence that's different from how we currently operate.
Yeah, it's almost like even though we think of our families, we think of our pets, we think of our friends. Like these are the things that we treasure here on earth. It's to really, really boil it down. It's things that help us get by, to help us to feel comfort while we're in this world. But when we get to be with God, when we get to see how things are meant to be, the things that we clung to are not as important as we thought they were.
Yeah, I think back again to Genesis, when in the garden, God brings the animals to him, and they're insufficient until he marries him to someone. And I think that's the picture, that in this new heaven and new earth, we will be married to Christ. That will be so fulfilling and so sufficient that everything below that will not be satisfying for us. Mm-hmm. Will not be comforting, will not bring us as much joy, as much delight than to know Jesus and to be with him. And I think, so yeah, to the cry of, will my dog be there? I don't know. But whatever satisfaction we get now will pale in comparison to the one when we're with Christ. Mm. So
yeah, and as far as, okay, then like, just to be compassionate to my friends who listen to this and are just worried about that.
Yeah.
Okay, my heart goes out to you because you want to know about the, eternal stake of your beloved animal.
Yeah.
Right. And I could commend you on your compassion there. but I would just say, maybe you go like, oh, I want more than ambiguity, which is something we can't provide because the Bible doesn't give it. So I would just say at the end of the day, can you trust that God will be good? Can you trust that he loves his creation more than you do? And however things should be is exactly how God will make them. So rather than being caught up in fear and hypotheticals, let me encourage you to rest your hope not in, okay, I know how everything is going to be, but I know the character of God.
That's so good. Yeah. And it goes into kind of any conversation, like just trust that God has something better than you can fathom here.
Yeah. Well, this is hard for us because we are people who want to systematize everything and explain everything. How many times have you heard, for instance, like somebody who objects to the Christian faith and you're saying, all right, you're telling me I got to believe in Jesus to go to heaven? Yeah. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Well, what about if somebody's never heard of Jesus? What about them? Bible's kind of ambiguous on that. I mean, you can maybe glean an idea from the beginning of Romans that people have what they need to believe, but I don't know, other than at the end of the day, people will end up exactly where they're supposed to because God is good and God is just. But that's hard for us because we want to explain everything, and unfortunately, we can't.
Yeah. I really appreciate Gary and Yadira for sending in your message, and hopefully this helps. The reason we have these questions is because the answers are lacking in the text, and if it wasn't this, it would be Josh. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I'm sad. My dragon. What did we just say right now?
What did we just say about dragons?
Yes.
That's where we're taking this?
That's
You're not
where
gonna
my
get a
heart is
dragon.
taking it. Well, I'm going to land it on that. Yes, God is good. He has a better dragon in mind than I could ever.
Here he is.
So I've had this thought. So like, if you want your dog in heaven, like, would God make you have all of your pets ever in your life? And so like, you get to heaven and it's like every fish, every hamster, you're just like, oh man,
no,
that dog was the worst. Why do I have to have this dog in heaven? I just want the good dog.
Oh no, that one parrot. I'm so sorry. That would be I was young. I didn't know. I was supposed to feed you regularly.
Remember we had all those parakeets that one summer? Now I got them for eternity.
Man. Okay, but
We had alpacas. We had pigs. Somebody's like, oh man, I lived on a chicken farm. I gotta have
My gator.
my eternity is spent on a farm.
this one's angry at me for
Actually,
eating
someone
it.
probably loved that.
No, but again, maybe that's a view of heaven that is one of reward in a sense that the scriptures don't talk about reward, right? So I get to heaven, what stuff do I get? No, the reward is the life of Christ. And Dupiche, you're right there.
It's the loudest straw ever.
Right?
Anyway.
No, well, like the reward is the life of Christ, the presence of God, and any kind of reward that the New Testament talks about kind of fits within that framework.
You know what? Speaking of reward, and this just came to me because I'm reading through Job right now. Job loses everything, and then God shows up at the end of the book, and then what does God do afterwards?
Gives them double, right?
But not the same.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're doing.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here's God giving you back something that you lost, and it's not the same. And I can't say that that's proof that you're not going to see your pets in heaven, but I mean, in that situation, Job loses his kids.
Sure.
And then he gets new kids. You're like, how is that better? How does that make everything better?
Yeah.
No, but it does make sense if it's pointing to the resurrection. Like Because remember we're going rabbit trailing now. Like we thought we were done, and now we're not. Like, is it Romans where it talks about this idea that everything in the Old Testament is ultimately a foreshadowing or imagery of the new covenant in Christ? Like, so all that stuff that you're reading, it's symbolic or reminding you of a greater reality. So that would totally work for Job. Okay, like, well, yeah, it's not the same kids at all, but the double portion, double amount, because it's not just kids, it's wealth, it's everything.
Yeah,
it is indicative, can show you the greater life and post resurrection.
Yeah. All right, we got to cut it off there. Unless Josh has something really amazing.
I have no dragon comments.
There he is.
He's dragging his feet. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. If you have episode ideas, you want to send them in to us, maybe you could be like Gary and Yadira who reached out. Email them to podcast@wearethebridge.org. And if I feel like we've said it a couple times, but this is a heavy topic. And if any of our jokes, any of our, half said comments and ideas and I wonder
Comments
about this.
dragons, Josh.
Yeah, like
Am I the only
we
one?
recognize. It's hard to be serious with these guys sometimes. We recognize that this is a heavy topic and that we likely gave you a lot to think about. And just know that it comes from our hearts. And we're just after what the Bible says and trying to carve away what our world is trying to force into our faith. We just want Jesus. We just want the Lord. And so I hope that you saw our hearts in this episode. Thanks for watching.